So yeah, thanks for having me today, and I just wanted to make something clear at first. Yeah, it was mentioned right before, I was a little bit stupid to choose a title that's too long to get on one slide, so I shortened it a bit. The real title of it is How to Tell Your Story with Social Media and Monetize It in 2017. So it's HTTYN. You get it. Like it was said before, my name is Phillip, and I'm running a company called eyeo, and we set up like the first native advertising platform for virtual and augmented reality. But I know where I'm standing today, so I thought advertising, bringing ads to something new and trying to advertise in a completely new space could be maybe the wrong idea to do it today. Because we want to build awesome stuff, but also need to see where the market goes. But instead of it, and I mean, there will be another issue, because when I talk about virtual and augmented reality, it would be better if I have some glasses with me and you can demo it, but I guess we don't have enough time to do it until the pizza arrives. So I go back to another topic of mine. Before I started eyeo last year, I was a digital marketing consultant, and I worked together with McDonald's, with the big brands, and helped them to find their social media story. And I also worked for MediaCraft. It's like a big YouTube MCN, a big label for YouTubers. And I also built my own social following, and it's pretty good. And I did a lot of social media influencer stuff. And today I would like to take your time to tell you something about what you could do, every one of yourself, to monetize maybe your skills and your content, and how you could do it. So let's give it a try. So, I mean, in this picture you can see I'm a big fan of shitty iStock photos, and I don't know what like the background of this picture was. Like, come on, put your pumpkin on your hat because it looks good, maybe. But in the end, life is awesome, because that's like the past. It's the first telephone that was built back then, and today it's like this. So everything is better, in my opinion, and I grew up with this. I'm pretty happy that I don't have to use this thing anymore. And but today is also like the days of stories, and stories are everywhere. Started with Snapchat, now Instagram, and there are like new kind of formats where you can tell your story online. And I really like this joke, because now stories will be also included in Excel. But it was just a good joke, but could be funny. But yeah, I don't like Excel that much, so it's better. But we are talking about a time where people like her. Does anyone know her? Yeah, that's Bibi's Beauty.
I'm not following.
Of course. But I also heard some man know the name. Yeah, that's Bibi's Beauty Palace. Bianca Heine, she's living straight next to Cologne. She's Germany's biggest YouTuber. Pretty large following across all channels. I guess most of you should know him. You're pretty good. So then let's give it another try. Now it's like the hard part, okay? Do you know who she is? Too good. Yeah. Did everything work out? Great.
How did you know, right?
So yeah, the one on the right is Pamela Reif, and she's Germany's biggest Instagrammer. So all three of them, yeah, I choose Casey because he's doing great content. I call it social media stars, and they knew how to monetize their content pretty well. So let's see how they did this. So if you're an influencer or you want to monetize your content, there's like a pretty easy scheme that you should follow, and then you make cash. So of course, at first you have to have some kind of talent. If I go back, he has talent. She's like, but she's entertaining, of course, and Pamela is pretty sporty and looks good, but and she also knew how to monetize this. But in the end, you definitely need some kind of skill, some kind of thing that makes you special, that you enjoy most. my skill is that I like to talk a lot, so perfect saying in front of you now, and I can talk about it. And the thing is, you need your talent and you need your story. You need to know your strength and then wrap it up. And of course, you need your medium. Your medium today is like your smartphone, your PC, and of course, the social networks across all devices. With this, of course, you can reach a lot of people. And in the end, if you're pretty good and smart, you can earn a lot of cash. A lot of, if you are good. And yeah, it's my favorite scene from Breaking Bad. But as Kanye is asking how, so I will help him today because Kanye West was a little bit sad in the last day, so I'm trying to help him out today. The first thing that's pretty important is like the content. If you're pretty nice, good looking, everything is fine. But in the end, it all comes down to the content. And for myself, I did pretty well on YouTube and in the German scene. I grew a YouTube channel with about 180,000 followers right now. And because I studied online editor, so I'm like in the news scene, and I did a lot of crappy news on YouTube, but they performed pretty well. And yeah, I'm not proud of it, some kind of, but I guess one of the most seen YouTube video is virtual reality sex simulator. I never tried it out, but it looks fun. But yeah, in the end, you need to find your content that fits you and that you are like used to put it out. I also could do a lot of more money with doing makeup tutorials, but I'm too ugly for this, so I went to news. And there are a lot of, one of the successful German YouTubers right now in Germany is Finn Kliman. Do you know him? Great.
Thank God, he's human.
Finn Kliman is like a really funny guy who's building shitty stuff and showing around videos, and he's quite popular with it because he's doing his own style. And he's not that talented in building stuff, but the overall thing is pretty funny. So keep in mind, you need your content, you need your topic, and you need to be safe with it, and of course you need to be used to it. Then the other thing is the main reason why most of the people from before are pretty famous right now, because they are standing for authenticity. Pretty annoying word in English and in German also. Most of them, like when you look to Casey Neistat for example, he's like, if you watch his videos, you mostly know what he's doing. Of course, there's always some kind of faking stuff, but when you look to TV or other platforms, those social media guys are like the most authentic people, besides like setting up Instagram filters and stuff like this. But they grew a large follower base because most of the followers think they know how they are acting in real life, and that's a big difference between TV and social media. So authenticity is pretty important to you besides the content. And of course, there's also something that's pretty important for today, is that if you want to be popular and you want to monetize your content, you need to be everywhere where it makes sense. I guess you saw a lot of articles writing about that Facebook is dead and they are not growing and stuff like this. But if you're like a local business or doing stuff for people right now, Facebook is still the place to reach most of the people. Snapchat is pretty fancy, and I did quite well in consulting companies and saying them, hey, you can do this, and this on Snapchat, but when it comes down to sales, and most of the companies are looking for sales, then Snapchat is pretty bad. Of course, it's all about branding, you can tell a lot of stories there and stuff like this, but depending on the goal you want to reach, Snapchat can work, but it also can't. And in my opinion, the biggest social networks right now where you should perform, or if you want to monetize the content, where should take place at, Facebook and Instagram. And then maybe, so for some of you, Twitter could be interesting, but in my opinion, I have more than 20,000 people on Twitter, but I make more money with monetizing my reach on Instagram and a lot of more on YouTube. So with the goal of monetizing your content and using the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube are pretty big. But of course, the main question is, where does the dollar come in? And where does the dollars come from? And I have like, I hope it's somehow funny. When I set up the presentation, I thought this could be really funny. So even if it's not, please smile a bit, so I feel great, would be awesome. So the challenge for today is, or if you want to monetize your content, you need to go from this point where you see this lovely Christmas tree to this point where you're like the guy with holding the Christmas tree, another really funny iStalk photo. But to come from here to this point, you need this thing. That's like the thing where you put the tree. Thanks guys, you're working really great. So I feel now really better now. I don't really know if there's a word for this. So when I bought my last Christmas tree at IKEA, they said it's called Baumtute, but I don't know if it's true. So if you guys do you know the word for this thing? I also read Baumnetzmaschine, but it doesn't sound that sexy. So to go from here to this, you need this, the Baumtute. And what are the options for this? So, of course, like the Baumtute is like the metaphor for the funnel where you convert your followers into this where you are happy and monetizing your stuff. So, talking about this, what are like the options for an influencer today? One big option is ads. I know ads can work, can be annoying, but when I worked back for a YouTube MCN, I knew what like the biggest of those influencers earned per month, and it was like 2 years ago, and the biggest of them earned 50,000 euros a month per video ads on YouTube. That's a lot. I mean, that are like the biggest ones. But if you look down to where the money is coming from, if you have like 100% on revenue on the ads, 40% goes straight to YouTube, and the rest goes to you. But of course, you have like the issue that ad blockers are still raising up, and most people are annoyed of ads. And when they go to YouTube, they can't see ads. That's, I mean, for myself, I'm also using ad blocker, but I whitelisted some channels I support. But the issue is sometimes 15 to 30% of the revenue from ads is lost because people don't know how to use ad blockers right. So there's like an issue, and you can't rely on ads all the time because YouTube is like, they have like the ads thing in their hand, and they can decide if your video is advertiser friendly or not. There's like a big issue that a guy I know pretty well, he's doing like news videos about the Islamic State. So the IS, I guess it's the thing with terror guys. And he's doing like videos about it, telling, hey, how they are structured, pretty good videos. But he can't monetize them because YouTube says, hey, it's not advertiser friendly because you're talking about the IS. So he has like a big issue because he's producing great content, but YouTube doesn't allow him to monetize it because, he's talking about the wrong topics. Yesterday there was like a news where they said now advertisers have more options to clarify if they want to do, what kind of videos they want to be. So now besides, of course, sexual content or adult content, you can also say, hey, please don't advertise in videos where like the content could be a little bit going in the wrong direction, like with the videos about the IS or other stuff. So that's hurting YouTube creators right now pretty much because some of them, I know pretty lot of them, they are living from the ads thing, and they need you to make money with it because they didn't find their Baumtute right now. So they just need to rely on ads. But of course, there are like some better examples who are found their way to monetize it in a better way. There are like a few, a lot of things on YouTube right now. where influencers are working in branded content channels. A pretty big one is Jung Tam Tam. That's like a cooking channel from Edeka. It's a big German supermarket, and they are producing stuff for Edeka on their channel. It's pretty popular, work pretty well, and those are like the influencers, and they are like producing stuff for Edeka, and then it's run on Edeka, and they are getting paid like an actor to do this stuff. But of course, they're also using their reach to boost those videos. That worked pretty well. I also did the same stuff for Vodafone for the last 1.5 years. The corporation stopped now. I produce news videos for them on my channel, and it also worked out pretty well. So that's like another opportunity where you don't have to rely on ads right now. But branded content, of course, is also limited to only a few. The other thing that's pretty good is products. As you can see here, that's Bibi's Beauty Palette again, with her blue shower foam. When she released the thing, I was like, what the fuck is shower foam? I mean, I'm a man, we are using just one shower thing for everything, for hair, for body, for everything. And now she come up with...
You got your beard.
Also,
You got something special for your beard, right?
No.
No?
Just water and the thing where, I guess, X for everything. Yeah, you know, you feel me, thanks. But of course, it sounds pretty stupid, but this shower foam that tasted, and some people also tasted it, but it said it doesn't taste like donut, like tasty donut. But in the end, she was so popular with selling this stuff in Germany. It was listed, and you could buy this stuff in DM.
You still can.
You can, yeah, but
I've heard.
yeah, you went straight to my trap. Okay, now we know who the guys are looking at that are using a shower foam from Bibi's Beauty Palace. Great one.
I only buy it to eat it.
Oh, of course, sure. Or to prank some other guys. Hey, man. Yeah, products are like another thing where you can monetize your content. There are a lot of people right now on the market who are also writing books and selling them. And of course there are other products like the merchandise thing went pretty well. There's one big influencer who released this new t-shirt, and the t-shirt is black, and everything, the only thing that's printed on a t-shirt is pizza. There's like only the word pizza on it, and people are buying this stuff. So pretty creative, but they are buying it. So products of course are like also an option for an influencer in today who can to earn money. And the other thing that was quite out of my radar in the last couple of years was like donations. I knew donations from Twitch, where you do live streams and people are donating stuff if you are pretty well. We also did a donation for our dog because she had some problems with her knee. In Germany, Kreuzband, I don't know the English word for Kreuzband.
ACL.
This thing was like broken, and we had to put a metal plate inside her knee because we love our dog and she's pretty young. But the surgery cost about 2,000 euros. And my wife is also an influencer, and she has a quite big following on Twitch. And we made some kind of donation stream for the dog, and I guess in one evening we got all the money. That was pretty good, because now like our dog is so happy and running around with a metal knee, and I'm kind of, yeah, I mean it looks not that special, but I know she's some kind of cyborg now. That's even cooler to have like a cyborg dog. But yeah, just I guess most of it goes for me. But donations are also working in different spaces. And here you can see a channel on YouTube that I can really recommend. It's called The Nerd Writer. If you don't know what to watch when you're lying in your bed and you're being watched all Netflix stuff, just go to Nerd Writer and look what he's doing. He's analyzing stuff, series, products, and spending so much time on one single video. And he's like pretty good with Patreon. Because he has like the biggest issue that his videos are so good and have so much information, he can't produce like one a day. He has like 2 weeks for one video, and he came up with Patreon to get donations by people, and you can see it on the left, he's doing quite well, so he gets around $4,000 per video from his subscribers who are donating stuff for him every month. What's pretty good for him, and so he could also make his living out of it. And I think that's like the rich I talked to you about, Rio. Also, one option could be Flattr in the end, maybe, but you will talk about it after me. So donations are also like something that could work out for an influencer today. But the overall goal is like to build something that grows and that is sustainable, like those money flowers I found also on iStock. Great, iStock is great. If you're bored and look for some fun, just go to those image stock things and type in some funny stuff. You will get really great images.
What did you type in for this one?
I think it was about growing money, just those keywords, and they came up with this and it looked pretty great. Here we see something that because that's the reason why I put Pamela Reif on the slide today, because what she did, I guess she's 21 years old, and I don't know if she's the one who's smart enough or she has a smart manager, but what they do is pretty great when it comes down to monetizing your content. She's pretty sporty, she's doing a lot of sport things on Instagram. What I found funny is that she said, yeah, I didn't start a real YouTube channel, she's doing some kind of showcasing stuff, but she's not talking on YouTube, and she's not doing anything like the normal stuff on YouTube, because she said she doesn't feel right on YouTube. She stick to Instagram, that's her harbor, but she's doing something on YouTube, but Instagram works for her pretty well. And for her, it's like, she thought about what can she do to get to this point. And of course, if you're sporty, if you're doing sports stuff, you come up with like a sports 12-week gym program like this one. And she also released a book. It's like all over the bookstores right now. Girls are buying it. That's like something, if she's smart enough, she can really build a sustainable business right here. And the options for today and for the pizza, so just I read pizza and I want to have pizza. So speeding up a little bit. The options for today are limitless for each of you if you are confident and if you know what you want to do. And these are like the three things that you should keep in mind if you are selling yourself, like if you have a skill, or you're selling stuff via social media, or you want to get heard. Then first you should really know your strengths, or when it comes down to companies, your product. I'm working for a virtual reality startup, like I said at first, and I'm not like a dev. My two co-founders are devs, and when they talk, I don't understand anything. And the thing is, if you're setting up like an ad marketplace for virtual reality, you also have to know, hey, what are like the strengths and how can we communicate them. So that's like the first thing, be sure what you can do and be confident with it, because I think every one of us has like a special talent or a special skill, and if you want to sell it, you can do, but at first, of course, you have to know what's special on yourself. And the other thing is, that's like the biggest part of my daily life right now, you have to tell your story. Or like the content. For my startup, it's like, hey, we can do this, and this, and the main goal of us is like this, because I could also tell them, I could tell stories about, yeah, we have like this technology and it's so special because it goes that's pretty going too deep, but you have to find something that is easy to understand. You have to find a story that people will remember. And of course, you have to tell your story in a way that you don't sound like a dick. It's like, just imagine you are on a Tinder date, on a friendly Tinder date, and you're talking to the person next to you, and she's or he is like, yeah, I'm like the biggest person in this sports, and I'm like pretty good at this, and pretty good at this, and this and this. I guess you will swipe to right and never Tinder her again, or him. And so be sure that you tell your story in a way that's, tell your story in a way that you would tell it to a friend. And that's make most of the sense, because when you look down to sales these days, it's like, yeah, we're the best, we're the best, we're the best. But I think what Apple or other things are doing pretty good is like that they came up with stuff what they could do for us and for stuff like this. So be sure that you tell your story in a friendly and sympathetic way. And the other thing is, spread it everywhere, because there was also something that I discovered in the last 8 years. When I produced a great piece of content and I released it, I was like, yay, everyone will share it and tweet it and will show it to their friends. And zero happened. When it comes down to spreading the content, there's not a real formula, but for myself, when I'm producing content, I go 40% content and 60% spreading it, because retweeting it and pushing it again in a normal time space is pretty important, because we are all like pretty active and always on the run, and maybe we need more than one try to see things. So it's pretty important that if you spread something, try to spread it again, try to loop it again after 2 weeks, something like this. Don't think that even if your content is really great, that it gets seen by a lot of people without doing anything. And the biggest important thing is, find your own Baumtute to convert your skill into something that monetizes your content. The Baumtute is the best thing. You don't have to set up your own Sport Weeks program. You can release a book, you can have a blog. There are so many options to monetize your content right now. You just have to find the thing that fits you the best. So in the end, you will reach a point where you can monetize your skills. What could be a goal. When I'm talking about this, a lot of people think that they should do it. No, it's just something I want to show is some opportunities. If you feel comfort, if you are happy with your life now, just doing normal stuff and not going on YouTube or Instagram and showing around what you do, it's pretty fine. Then you won the jackpot. That's just something for people who ask me what they could do more on Instagram or YouTube and all the other social platforms, and they're like the most important things. So in the end, Kani is happy because now he understands everything, but don't be a dick. And that's my final slide. And I mean, the topic is so big. It's like social media, it's like monetization, and I could talk about a whole day about it. So if you have any questions right now, we can jump on it. And I will also be at the pizza afterwards, so feel free to join me there. And thanks for your time, of course.